What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I am under a 203-year-old house that we are in the process of trying to save. And when I say I am a diehard DeWalt guy, I am truly a DeWalt diehard guy. This one right here, this is one of the first laser levels that DeWalt actually made. And you can see how big this thing is. The case right here from it, that I still have the original one, came with a remote for it, a wall mount right here, so you can mount it onto the wall with the metal studs and everything else. And I remember using this when I did a furniture store back in 2003, 2004. So I know that this thing is literally 20 years old, and it's still running. The only problem with this is the batteries for these no longer, you don't buy those. But thank goodness they actually make an adapter so you can still use modern batteries with it. And this sucker still works. It's actually been in a box down here, and I haven't had to use it. Well, I used it when I set these posts originally a few months ago. But it had literally sat in the box for probably a year or two and not being used. And you see right out the box, it's doing exactly what I need to do. I'm going to be setting these posts. Well, the posts are set, but I need to level them off to put my brackets so that way I can make main beams that are going to support the house. So, yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing that DeWalt tools last as long as they do. That's why I'm a believer with them, and I won't buy anything but DeWalt tools. Peace. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Originally, I had set these up to the level point as level as I could. The only problem is the whole house has a little bit too much where you can only jack it up so far over there. This side is actually pretty tight. It didn't rot out. This side over here, because they ended up sealing it off, it couldn't breathe like it was supposed to, and those ended up rotting out. So here's what we have to do. Originally, I was going to use micro lam beams, and we were going to basically notch these out and use some of the meat. The micro lam beams, basically right now, to get the 30-foot ones I need, are about $300 a piece, so you're looking at $1,200. The other option is using 3 2x12s. 3 2x12s put together will have the same amount of holding strength. So I'm going to need to cut these posts off 11 1/4 inches, and then we're going to put on a, didn't bring them down yet, a actual metal bracket that's going to go on here that'll tie these together. And I'll do that on all of these. I actually have 8 2x10s, 2x12s out there, so we can start setting that beam up. Upstairs on the roof, Jet is going to be working on the roof to go ahead and get that chimney out for me. Thank God. Okay, and so we'll be working on that as well. So I'm going to get cutting on these things, and we're going to make this place livable. Hopefully, by Memorial Weekend, we'll be living in here. That's one down, 5 more to go. right. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to start getting our beams together. So what we're going to have is three 2x12. And what we'll do is we're going to split the difference in the middle here with one of them. The one in the middle, we're going to have it so it rests on both sides of this. And so we'll cut one of these to be 140 and a half. 140 and a half. And then the other two will be full length, so they'll be coming all the way down through here, which will put them roughly about here. But then what we'll do is we'll end up basically screwing them together, but we'll offset the joints so it's not like two weak spots. So we'll have one spot here, we'll have another one in the middle, so it'll be a shorter one there, and the other one will be here. This way you'll end up having the three of those together, and we're going to bolt those together to make sure that they're tight. So 140 and a half. You go cut that. Yeah, now what's going to happen is this is going to be another one on top of here. What we're going to have to do is we're going to be jacking up each individual section on the floor to put in our next one. And we're basically going to have to start from one side to the other. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and get the one I cut that's going to fit right here, and then figure out what the length is for the next one to cut. Whew. Okay. Hot dog. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and get this one measured. That'll go on here, and then we'll get the last one. But what we have is there's no seam, so it'll only be one seam in this section here, and one seam in that one. The only other seam ends up being right here, so it's going to be strong. And you can see how nice this is right now. This is going to be sturdy. And I left my tape measure upstairs. Now I will say, I love, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple nails in here, my DeWalt tools, because cordless is the way to go. just to lock those together. It's nice because now we've got electricity in the house, but I don't like using corded tools anymore. I don't like to be cumbersome with those. I like to be able to just go through and be able to just move around without having those tools bother me. Let's get you in a different location here. Okay, so you can see now, one thing we have an issue here. Sorry, the light is blinding you. Okay, so this is a problem. Just call me Eclipse. This is a problem we have because the house is so old that we can only get out so much of it. So what actually happens is this beam is up slightly more. There's going to be a little fall to the floor, but it's okay. See, right now, we're right there 11 1/4, which is where this part of the floor is okay. That side is the side that's dropped. The thing is when they built the house, it wasn't perfectly level, but all of these floor joists are married into that wall. You're not going to be able to move them. So my beam comes up just a little bit. It comes up about 1/2 inch higher on this side than over on the other side. But you can see it right here where that's off. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a bar clamp and I'm going to squeeze the two of those together. We'll go ahead and tie it up in here and bolt it. So we're basically, in some regard, I call it walking the dog, which is we're cutting it. I mean, we're going to basically nail it and bend the wood so it's going to be the way we need it to be. Structurally wise, once we get the floor joists up in here, this sucker is going to be tight. And you'll see we'll put all new ones. We're going to leave these original ones in here because we want this to be here because it's historical. Now, because of the way they've supported this stuff in the middle, we're basically going to have to go through, come in, slide one of the rafters up in place, and take the shoring off as we work our way down. So put one in, take off some more shoring. Put another one in, take off some more shoring. It's going to be a little bit arduous. I guess that's the way you say it, but it's the only way we can do it safely because we've got this. It's a great beam. It'll be a great something I'm going to use in here, but it's about a 2.5, maybe 3, about 2.5 by 6. Look, see right here, this down the middle, and that's going to be in the way of it. So we're going to have to cut it. What I may do is put a temporary support up in here, cut a section of it out so we can slide it in place, and then just keep working our way down. But we have to support this while we're working on it, or else you risk the floor coming down on top of you. But doesn't that look pretty? Okay. And I think that was 82 1/4 is what I did for that other side piece. $82.5. Okay, $82.5. I'll be back. All right. Now, got that. course, we're going to have to push this. It's going to have to come back down from the weight of it, and it's going to have a little bit of a bow to it. There's just no way else around that. But when the weight comes on here, it'll bring it back down, hopefully. Although, with the amount of weight that's going to be on here, when we jack it up, it'll push it down. But now, we can bring in the next one. All right, nothing like pushing 5 2x12s nailed together for a beam. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a piece of 2x4 and nail it on the end to make sure that we don't have any contact with the masonry. Whew. I believe I have some pieces inside that I can use. I got a nail jammed. That happens from time to time. And just have to loosen this thing up and it'll come right out. Whew. I think this is a good time to take a water break. When you get these nails jams on this, you just have to loosen up the front plate. It usually happens sometimes between the nails when you put another pack in there. There, out that easy. And tighten it back up, and you're back in there. Whew. So, this has been a total time of about an hour of you guys watching me build this beam. I don't have enough to build completely the other one over there. I only have, I think, 3.5 left. This took 4.5 of them, but I'm going to get the post cut and get them in place. It's going to be a little more difficult because I don't have much room to work with to maneuver the post. In fact, I'm not sure that I do have enough space to get all 16 foot in here and be able to make it. In fact, let me see if I do. So I push it over there. Can I get it in here? Yeah, we'll have just enough space to be able to get it in place. All right, let's see if I can slide this thing back in here by myself. Oh, I need to get the 2x4. Duh. Not real bright.